Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Shyok Sharma, Assistant Professor, Department of Biochemistry, All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi. Today we are going to talk about module diffusion of non-electrolyte across the membrane, rate theory of membrane transport, electrodiffusion, and facilitated diffusion of small molecules. As we studied in previous module about detailed mechanism of diffusion of two and multi-compartment diffusion, in this module we discuss about diffusion of non-electrolytes and small molecules. Thus, the objective of current modules are diffusion of non-electrolytes across the membrane, facilitated diffusion of small molecules, and defining the rate theory of membrane transport, and finally, what is the electrodiffusion. Transport of ion and organic molecules across the membrane is a very selective process, as we discussed all previous modules, and transportation is essential for the survival of the cell by maintaining homeostasis. So there are three mechanisms by which these ion and organic molecules move across the membrane, and these mechanisms are simple diffusion. According to this, movement of the solute molecules across the lipid bilayer without assistance of any proteins. The direction of the movement is from its higher concentration to the lower concentration, that is means down its concentration gradient. And in facilitated diffusion, transport proteins are required for transport of the molecules, as you know, and is down its concentration gradient. And in active transport, it is the both above mechanism, no energy is required, but in active transport system energy is required, but the transport is against the concentration gradient with the help of transport protein. It is the transport of the solute from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. This movement can take place freely without requirement of any energy. In a living cell, simple diffusion only takes place for gases, non-polar molecules, or small polar molecules such as water, glycerol, or ethanol. This type of simple diffusion obeys second law of thermodynamics. As the movement of molecules is towards the equilibrium, the process is exergonic. Thus, energy is released. As shown in this figure, the alveoli of mammalian lungs, due to difference in partial pressure across the alveolar capillary membrane, oxygen diffuses into the blood and carbon dioxide diffuses out. Lung contains a large surface area to facilitate this gas exchange process. There are many factors which affecting the diffusion of solute. These important factors are size of the solute, polarity, and charge of the solute particles. Now, size of the solute particles. So, size, membrane is not a continuous layer of lipid. There are small pores which are present in the membrane. Molecules which are small enough can easily cross the membrane. So, smaller the molecules, more permeable it will be across lipid membrane. Then large molecules, gases having low molecular weight as well as size, so they can easily diffuse across the membrane without facing any hindrance. Example, oxygen, carbon dioxide can easily move across the membrane. There are no specialized transporter is required for transport of these small molecules. Second is the polarity. Non-polar molecules are more permeable through lipid bilayer as compared to polar molecules, as lipid are non-polar in nature and biological membrane is composed of lipids. Therefore, non-polar molecules can easily diffuse through them. Non-polar molecules are more permeable through lipid bilayer as compared to the polar molecules. Lipid bilayer had hydrophobic interior and non-polar molecules being hydrophobic in nature can easily dissolve in it and get transported. Example, steroid hormone can easily pass the membrane whereas peptide hormone cannot. This cartoon picture representing the how size and polarity of the solute particles affecting the diffusion. This is right hand side showing the plasma bilayer membrane and small molecules like which are apolar nature, oxygen, nitrogen and benzene, as well as polar uncharged molecules like water, urea, glycerol, carbon dioxide and ammonia. These have small size and polarity. These factors allow these molecules to diffuse freely through the plasma membrane. So, now next, how we measure the polarity? Polarity is measured by partition coefficient. It is the ratio of its solubility in an organic solvent to its solubility in water, more non-polar, higher partition coefficient. Amino acid with hydrophobic side chain have high partition coefficient and reside near membrane. Example, tyrosine. Now next is the solute charge. Ions are charged species and water is a small polar molecules having partial charge on it. The oxygen atom of the water carries partial negative charge whereas hydrogen atom have partial positive charge. Cations interact with the oxygen having partial negative charge whereas anions interact with the positive hydrogen. Both these interactions are electrostatic. Thus, ion have strong association with water molecules. These interactions lead to the formation of the cells of water molecules around the ion, which is known as hydration cell. In this cartoon pictures, which is representing the effect of size and charge of solute particle on diffusion, for a molecules to get transported across the membrane from one side to another side of the plasma membrane must shed its hydration cell and then pass through the membrane and again gain its hydration cell after getting transported. To set the hydration cell, energy is required to break the interactions between the water molecules and the solute, that is ions. As the charge on the ion increases, the magnitude of the attraction increases, thus more energy is required to break the hydration shell. This restricts the transport of solute across the biological membrane. So here see large molecules which are polar and uncharged, example glucose, and ions like hydrogen, sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, and amino acids and nucleotides, which they are not easily diffused through the plasma membrane. So in that case, size, charge and polarity of the solute particles affecting the diffusion through the plasma membrane. In facilitated diffusion, it is a kind of passive transport in which polar substance cross a biological membrane through a protein transporter down its concentration gradient. Water requires a transporter to get transported across the membrane, thus it undergoes the process of facilitated diffusion. So, as we already discussed in previous module about the mechanism of facilitated diffusion, we are just give the outlines कि as protein is involved in the transport of molecules, the kinetics of the molecular transport is similar to the enzymatic kinetics, which we will explain through the Michael-Milton equation. So, what an act as an unusual molecules? Small molecules require no transporter for their transport across the biological membrane, but water being small molecules can pass through the biological membrane, but being polar, the rate of transport of water molecules is very slow. As water is required in almost each and every life process, the transporter of water must be quick enough to meet the requirement of the cell. For transport of water across the biological membrane, there are transporters that are available. These transporters are known as aquaporins. This picture representing the structure of aquaporin, which help to diffusion of water through the plasma membrane. Water moves across the membrane down its concentration gradient. Thus, it moves passively. But as it requires a transport protein, water undergoes the process of facilitated diffusion. There are 11 different types of aquaporins in mammals having specific localization and role. Water moves through these aquaporins at the rate of 10 to power 9 molecules per second. Now we discuss the diffusion of non-electrolytes across the membrane. Non-electrolytes do not dissociate in the solution and they get transported across the membrane as a whole. There are different types of biological non-electrolytes like hydrophobic small non-electrolytes, hydrophobic bulky non-electrolytes, and hydrophilic neutral non-electrolytes. Ions such as sodium, potassium, chloride, and calcium diffuse across the plasma membrane at rate that are much faster than would be predicted from their very low solubility in membrane lipids. Moreover, different cells have quite different permeabilities to these ions, whereas non-polar substances have small permeabilities when different cells are compared. The fact that artificial lipid bilayer containing no proteins are practically impermeable to these ions indicate that it is the protein component of the membrane that is responsible for these permeability differences. Now, if we look at the case of hydrophobic small non-electrolytes, example steroid hormones are directly cross the membrane without any transporter down its concentration gradient as shown in this figure, while hydrophobic bulky non-electrolytes, example lipid, and hydrophilic neutral non-electrolytes, example glucose, cross membrane with the help of transporters. Now we discuss another example, transport of free fatty acid across two mitochondrial membrane is an example of transport of hydrophobic bulky non-electrolytes across the membrane. This type of transport is facilitated by carnitine. The detailed mechanism of this bulky non-electrolyte transport across the membrane we already discussed in previous module in details. Glucose is an example of hydrophilic neutral non-electrolyte, and glucose exhibits the facilitated diffusion, and this is transported by channel GLUT. There are 12 different types of GLUT. All are expressing in different sites and having diverse role. As you know, the most important property of membrane is their ability to control the rate of permeation of different species. There are two models currently used to describe the mechanism of permeation or pore flow model and the solution diffusion model as shown in this cartoon picture. In the pore flow model, permeates are transported by pressure-driven convective flow through tiny pores. Separation occurs because one of the permeates is excluded or filtered from some of the pores in the membrane through which other permeates move. This transport mechanism occurs in the ultrafiltration, microfiltration and microporous gas flow membrane. But in another case, in the case of solution diffusion model, the permeates dissolved in the membrane material and then diffuse through the membrane down a concentration gradient as shown in this picture on right hand. The permeates are separated because of the differences in the solubilities of the materials in the membrane and the differences in the rate at which the material diffuses through the membrane. This transport mechanism occurs in the reverse osmosis, pervaporation and polymeric gas separation membrane. In case of membrane transport, the particles move in the direction from higher concentration to lower concentration in order to attain the maximum entropy. A process to occur spontaneously, the Gibbs free energy of the system must be negative. The relation between the entropy and Gibbs free energy is given by the equation G is equal to H minus Ts, where G representing the Gibbs free energy in joules, H is the enthalpy, T is the absolute temperature, and S is the entropy. So as entropy increases, Gibbs free energy becomes more negative, making process feasible. When molecules are transported across the membrane against concentration gradient, like from higher concentration to the lower concentration, some energy are released. That energy is called Gibbs free energy delta G. So delta G is equal to RT log C2 by C1, where delta G representing the change in Gibbs free energy, R is the gas constant, and T is the temperature of the system, and C representing the concentration of the solute. The rate of diffusion is not always regulated or controlled or determined by solute concentration, but membrane is also play crucial role in regulating determining the rate of diffusion across the membrane. So, to determine the flow rate, Darcy's law also play very crucial role in this, and equation of the Darcy's law is given by Q is equal to K by nu delta P by delta LA, where Q representing the rate of flow of the solute, K representing the permeability of the membrane, and delta P is the pressure difference, delta L is the flow length or test sample thickness, A is the cross-sectional area of the membrane, and mu is the fluid viscosity. So all these factors, hence Darcy law play important role to calculate the rate of flow of a solute of any respective membrane or in a system. The permeability coefficient of equation is dependent upon the porous nature of the membrane and fluid, and it is calculated by permeability is equal to Kd by delta X, P representing the permeability coefficient, K is the partition coefficient, D is the diffusion coefficient, and delta X is the width of the membrane. So, what is electrodiffusion? We previously discussed how the motion of freely dissolved ions and macromolecules is governed by diffusion. The random motion of molecules that results from fluctuating forces. Electrolytes are charged species that cannot transport biological membrane. Whenever there is an imbalance in the resting membrane potential, then there is a moment of charges across the membrane. Such movement of charges under the influence of the voltage difference is known as electrodiffusion. Polar molecules require transport protein that can help them to move across the membrane. If the transporter protein allow them to cross the membrane down their concentration gradient, then they are known as channel, and if they transport electrolytes against their concentration gradient, then they are known as pump that require energy. The movement of charged molecules across the membrane was regulated by two gradient system like concentration gradient or electric gradient, and both are electrochemical gradient. Together these gradients are known as electrochemical gradient. Direction of solute movement depends on thermodynamic status of the system. According to the concentration gradient, the particles move from higher to the lower concentration and eliminate the electrical potential. But both processes lead to the increase in the entropy of the system. In general, the flow of ion through the membrane is driven by concentration gradient and also by electric field. The contribution to the flow from the electric field is given by Planck's equation. The J is equal to minus mu by G C delta phi. So where mu is the mobility of the ion defined as the velocity of the ion under a constant unit electric field. G is the valency of the ion, so that G by G is the sign of the force on the ions. C is the concentration of the subsolute particles, and phi is the electrical potential, so that minus delta phi is the electrical field. D is equal to URT by GF is representing the relationship which is determined by Einstein between the ionic mobility mu and fixed diffusion constant. Similarly, when the effect of concentration gradient and electrical gradient are combined, we obtain the Nernst-Planck's equation, and if the flow of ion and the electric field are transverse to the membrane, we can view as a one-dimensional relation between them, as shown in this figure. When the flux J we consider as 0, then Nernst equation can be derived from the Nernst-Planck's electrodiffusion equation. Now suppose that the cell membrane extends from x is equal to 0 inside to the x is equal to L outside of the cell, and let subscript I and E denote internal and external quantities respectively, and the potential difference across the membrane V is equal to phi I minus phi E is given by V is equal to RT divided by GF log CE divided by CI. This derivation of the Nernst equation relies on the Nernst-Planck's electrodiffusion equation. Now we discuss about Nernst potential. Nernst potential generally used to calculate the potential of an ion of charge across a membrane, and this potential basically dependent on the ion concentration across the membrane. So this equation is given by V is equal to RT by GF log CE by CI, where R is the ideal gas constant, T is the absolute temperature, and F is the Faraday constant as shown in this formula. resting membrane potential generated by the balance between the chemical potential of diffusion and the electrical potential. By rearranging Nernst equation, we can get the resting membrane potential, which is given by V is equal to 62 divided by G multiplied by log 10 concentration outside divided by concentration inside, where V is the membrane potential in the millivolt and G is the charge on the ions and concentration present outside the cell and concentration Cn representing inside the cells. The internal concentration of a highly permeable ion such as potassium. System separated by the membrane always try to attain the resting membrane potential. This picture representing the voltage dependent calcium channel. These channels are closed at resting membrane potential but get activated or opened, membrane potential get depolarized. Voltage dependent calcium channel is a complex of several dependent subunit, that is alpha 1, alpha 2 delta and beta 1 to 4 and gamma. Whenever there is a change in the resting membrane, calcium ion move across the membrane through voltage dependent calcium channel to dissipate the electric as well as concentration gradient. So, student, let's now summarize what we have learnt in this module. Membrane transport is a very selective process. Membrane transport refers to the group of mechanisms that regulate the passage of solute like ion, molecules, etc. through the biological membrane, which is made of lipid bilayer. There are different factors that affect the transport of molecules across the membrane. These factors are size, polarity and charge. There are three mechanisms by which transport across the membrane take place, like simple diffusion, facilitated diffusion and active transport. In simple diffusion, molecules cross the biological membrane down their concentration gradient without any energy requirement. In facilitated diffusion, transport protein is required for the transport of the molecules across the membrane. The transport does not require any energy. It is down the concentration gradient of the molecules across the membrane. Active transport of molecules require energy and transport is against the concentration gradient. Electrodiffusion is another type of diffusion which depends on the concentration of the ion as well as the membrane electric potential. Transport of the ion can take place through the channels passive transport or pump active transport. By rearranging Nernst equation, we can calculate the resting membrane potential, whereas Darcy's law can be determined the flow rate of the solute across the membrane.